Welcome to Part 2. If you haven't seen Part 1, there will be a link in the video or in the underbars, so check that out. Returning to the Crusader combo attack, it will now have a max level of 20 instead of 30. It will cost 34 MP to use instead of 35. It will still last for 200 seconds, and a max combo count is 5 and 5% increases in damage per orb. Before Big Bang, it was max combo count of 5 and a 220% increase in total damage. So you are losing a hell of a lot of damage. Panic. It will have a max level of 20 instead of 30. It will cost 20 MP to use instead of 24. It will give you a 480% damage per combo orb to one enemy. 90% chance to put the enemy in a state of darkness for 9 seconds. It ignores 60% of the enemy's defense. In Maplestory before Big Bang, excuse me. I shouldn't be drinking pop while I'm doing this. Before Big Bang, it only did 350% damage to one enemy, and it still had the 90% chance to put the enemy into a state of darkness. So, and this was also split up into Panic and Axe and Sword, so it's the same thing, obviously. Coma will be now max level 20 instead of 30. Only costing 22 MP instead of 25 HP and 26 MP. You will deal an extra 200%, leading you up to 400% damage per orb to 6 enemies, and a 90% chance to stun the enemy for 4 seconds. Magic Crash, which has a chance to cancel all enemies' buffs and prevent them from casting new buffs, it has 1 minute cooldown. It will increase from 7 MP to 15 MP and still have a 100% chance of working, and it will turn off all buffs for 20 seconds. Shout, which is a mobbing skill, it will cost 18 MP instead of 16 MP. The max level will be 20 instead of 30. You will deal 220% damage instead of 30% damage. You will do it to 10 enemies still, and you have a 95% chance to stun the enemies for 8 seconds. Brandish is a new skill for the Crusader. You'll perform a double attack on an enemy that is in front of you. The max level is 20. 21 MP will be taken up, and 240% damage each swing to 3 enemies. The Hero class. Advanced combo will change by the 10% increase in each damage for orb, and 80% chance to charge up to 2 orbs. Achilles, which permanently increases your defense abilities so you take less damage from enemies. It doesn't change at all. You still have the same thing from previous MS to Big Bang MS. Combat Mastery is a new skill you will be learning. It ignores 40% of the enemy's defense. Maple Warrior will now cost 70 MP and will increase all stats with 15% in the party for 900 seconds. The only thing changing is you'll have to cost an extra 10 MP. Monster Magnet will now cost 22 MP instead of 21. It will pull 6 monsters with 200% damage and stun them for 5 seconds. So it seems that it will have a 100% success rate, unlike 95 that they had in pre-Big Bang. Power Stance will now cost 60 MP instead of 50, and you will still have a 90% chance of being knocked back for 300 seconds. I said not knocked back, by the way. It's hard to say. Rush, you will spend 47 MP and you'll deal 250% damage to the enemy instead of 140% damage like before Big Bang. Interpret Slash is a new skill, which deals 3 consecutive attacks on multiple enemies in front of you. It will cost 24 MP and do 210% damage each swing to 3 enemies. Enrage. It is now changed to only costing 24 MP with 60% extra damage to the enemy. Enrage is focused for 180 seconds. And pre-Big Bang, it was minus 40 MP plus 26 weapon attack for 240 seconds. Note, it worked on all enemies you'd attack. Hero's Will did not change from previous updates. Weapon Mastery will now include 50% mastery and 60 accuracy, like I said before. This is for the job of Page, by the way. Final Attack is changing the same way as it did for a fighter. They're getting a new skill called Enhanced Basic, Power Strike damage 120%, slash blast damage plus 70%. Weapon Booster will now cost you only 11 MP and last for 210 seconds. Threatened. It will now cost 24 MP instead of 25. No big deal there. It reduces the enemy's defense, accuracy, and attack by 30% for 80 seconds. Instead of 50% chance to reduce enemies' attack and defense and accuracy by 20% for 80 seconds. So it will work now 100%. Power Guard will be changing to max level of 20 instead of 30, cost 20 MP instead of 30 MP, and it will last for 100 seconds and deals 50% of damage. Instead of lasting for 90 seconds and returning 40% of damage to the enemy. Grand Smash, which is a new skill that most warriors are getting, it'll cost 15 MP and deal 300% damage. Shield Mastery increases the weapon defense and magic defense when a shield is equipped. It will now increase 200% of physical and magical defense instead of 100%. Charge Blow. It'll now cost 30 MP instead of 25 HP and 25 MP. It'll deal 360% damage to 4 enemies instead of 250% damage. It'll still have a 90% chance to stun an enemy. Fire Charge. Max level has been reduced from 30 to 10. It will still cost 35 MP and it will only deal 130% damage for 200 seconds now instead of 140% damage for 200 seconds. Ice Charge will now still cost 35 MP. Oh, the max level is being reduced by 10 to 20 and it will do 120% damage instead of 110% damage for 200 seconds now. Lightning Charge will now cost 35 MP like it did before. The max level will be 20 instead of 30. It will deal 125% damage for 200 seconds as it did in post Big Bang. Magic Crash will now cost 15 MP and will have a 100% chance to turn off all buffs for 20 seconds. Instead of just being able to turn off Magic Guard. HP Recovery is a new skill. It instantly restores some of your HP. 40 MP is required to recover 80% of your health points. It does have a 30-second cooldown, so you are not a priest yet, but still a great skill to have. Combat Orders is a new skill. It will cost 36 MP to use. It will raise all skill levels by 2 points for 180 seconds. Just to note this, only fort job skills are affected by this, so you won't have like a level 22 power strike from your first job. The skills for Paladin, Achilles has stayed the same. Guardian now will have a 30% chance to resist to the elements, block an attack with 40%, and stun for 6 seconds when successfully blocked, instead of only having a 15% chance to block an attack and stun for 2 seconds. Advanced Charge increases the damage of charge blow as well as the number of monsters hit by it. It improves weapon mastery and is... Why am I reading this? This isn't... I'm stupid. Oh, but Charge Blow will now deal 460% damage instead of 350%. And it'll damage up to 6 targets. The mastery is changed when it is on 70%. I will see you all in Part 3.